everybody, it's 13th Wolfman. You know what today is? Today is day 10. The 30 days hath November. November. This was something I thought I'd come up with this year. Try to watch 30 new movies in 30 days. And so what I mean by new is they don't have to be new like in, hey, they just came out in the theater, or hey, it's got to be new to me. So it could be from any decade. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know. Even the 2000s. Lately I've been focusing a lot on classic, there's been a few horror movies here and there, but a lot of classic films that I haven't seen. So the rules to November are, it's got to be a new movie to you, can't be part of your collection whatsoever. You can rent it, you can rent it, you can stream it, you can watch it off of cable, you can watch it off of DVR. I mean, anyway, as long as it's not part of your collection. You can't just go out and buy 30 new movies. Because the minute you buy them, they become part of your collection. See what I did there? Yeah. Now, I have a few other people doing this with me. There's Retro Horror, and there's the one and only MSJ. I mean, if you want to join in, and do a catch-up video, feel free. Now, before we get started, I would like you to like, subscribe, share, and comment when you like a video. It helps to go out to other people. When you subscribe, hit the bell, ding the bell, ring the bell. That way you'll be notified anytime something new comes out. And always comment, because I always want to know what you have to say. Today's movie is 1947. Yeah, that's another classic film. A 1947 film put out by Lion Eagle Productions. It's called Out of the Blue with George Brent and Virginia Mayo. And the weird thing about this is that George Brent and Virginia Mayo aren't even the love interests to one another in this movie. They're love interests to opposite people. So it's just kind of odd that it would be cast that way. Ann Dvorak is George Brent's love interest, and I can't think of the guy's name. It's a really weird name that plays Virginia Mayo's love interest. But this is one of those zany comedies that came out in the 1940s. George Brent plays a man that's married, and his wife is leaving for the weekend. So when she leaves, she's a very naggy type of wife. So when she leaves, he finally says, you know what, I'm going to have time to cut loose a little bit and have some fun for myself. And he goes to a bar. I mean, it's a nightclub. It's a nightclub. They serve dinner. There's some entertainment. There's a bar. He goes into the nightclub and he says, I'd like to get a table, and they're like, well, you'd have to wait a few minutes. You can wait at the bar. And he's kind of like, well, I am on, and this was surprising me. He said, I am on the wagon, but okay. So he goes up to the bar, orders a ginger ale, and the woman sitting next to him, Olive, that's what it was. Olive starts chatting him up, and after a while, he gets a table, they go sit down. It seems very inappropriate because we know he's married, even though his wife's kind of naggy. He talks about, he goes, how much did you, says something about how much she paid for a shot of bourbon. It was 90 cents. And he's like, I have a bottle back home that's $6. And he's like, 90 cents. He goes, there's like 100 shots in a bottle. So that's, they figure out the math. It's like $90 or something like that. So he invites her back to his place, which is really weird. She's pretty hammered before she gets to his place. And when he asks her to leave, she doesn't. She winds up staying in the guest room, but unbeknownst to him. Because he walked off and went to sleep in his own bedroom. He wakes up the next morning, she's there, and this zany, weird comedy. Then she starts passing out. It's almost like she's narcoleptic and he thinks she's dead. So he goes and talks to his... A lot of stuff happened in this movie, and it's all because of Olive. And Olive is the most annoying woman on the planet. I mean, you just want to take her out to the country, let her run with the dogs. Honestly. It's like, okay, here we are. Boom. You find your own way home. That's about... Once you start watching it, you get to this point, you're like, that's about where you're at. You're just kind of like, I'm done with her. There's nothing else to say about it. Virginia Mayo is the neighbor's love interest, and she's not. See, I don't think that George Brent and Virginia Mayo are utilized in this movie right. I think this was one of those things that they must have been sucked into a contract and had to make this movie, because this movie's boring. As zany as it is, after a while, you're just kind of like, yeah, I can only do so. You can only take so much of it. You just don't want... You can't believe anyone would have put up with Olive this much, you know? And like I said, George Brent and Virginia Mayo, who's the best looking woman in the picture, and Dvorak isn't bad looking, but her nagginess makes her not so attractive. But she's just underused, and it just doesn't work. This movie, if I was to give this movie a full rating, and I haven't been rating movies, out of 10, I give it a 4. I mean, really, it's not even an average zany comedy. It's really just to the point where you're just kind of like, after a while, just going, you know, throw her out let her run with the dogs. I don't care. Just do something. Just get rid of her. And she keeps on passing out, and you kind of tell after a while, you know, I'm not sure if she's narcoleptic, like I said, or if she's just trying to get attention. She's missing for like 5 days. The cops are involved. There's all this hoobaloo going on, and it's crazy, but it's not funny. You know, I didn't laugh out loud at all during this movie, and that was the sad part. So, that's all I got to say about that. I am the 13th Wolfman, and of course, I'm on the prowl.